Hey everybody, so today we're going to be taking a look at a parsing guide to the Greek New Testament by Hahn. Now, what this is essentially a single volume work that gives all of the parsing to every Greek verb that appears in the New Testament, the Greek New Testament that is. So if we open it up right here, see as compiled by Nathan E. Hahn, with an introduction by Merrill C. Tenney. I believe, yes, this one here, third printing, was 1974, but the first one it looks like was 1971. In the foreword, here he says, a parsing guide to the Greek New Testament is intended to aid all Greek students in translating more accurately the Greek New Testament. Its purpose is to facilitate the translation of the New Testament for those students who have only a general knowledge of the Greek language. The importance of such a work of this type has been instilled in me over a period of years in teaching the Greek New Testament. And he goes on to give his gratitude for those who have helped in this work. And then here he gives the introduction to how this actually works. So he says here that he follows in this version, this is an older version. I'm not sure if this is still in print. I know you can definitely buy it used. I bought this one very cheap off of it was thrift books. But all in all, after shipping, it was less than $10. So it's extremely affordable, extremely affordable. He says here that this one follows the 25th edition. I believe, unless I'm mistaken right now, we are on, with the Nestle Allen, the 25th Nestle Allen Greek New Testament. I believe that right now we are currently on the 28th or 29th. I could be wrong. I know that I have a copy right here. It was my dad's, and this is the 27th, I believe. Yeah. But truth be told, I don't think that there is that much difference between them. In fact, I could be wrong, but I believe that the 27th and 28th are identical. It's only the apparatus that's changed. And if there is a 29th, which I'm pretty certain that there is, I think that there actually was some textual changes, but still fairly minor. But anyway, so here's how this tool works. Like I said, it only gives the parsing for the verbs. Real quick, I know that this volume has some mistakes in it, or the earlier printed volumes. And so what he gives here is some fixes that he put in the beginning. And he marks them, I believe, in the rest of the text. So if you find a place where there's a footnote, then you can come back to here. Why he put these in the beginning instead of just replacing the errors as you find them, I'm not sure. Yeah, he says here, the parsing errors have been corrected and the missing words have been parsed as in the following examples. And then, he goes on to say. So, here he gives the abbreviations for the different tenses, and we have, ACC stands for accusative, ACT active, AOR stands for aorist, not aorist, aorist. And then he goes on with the rest of them. And then here we have a table of contents, and so we can see we've got all the books in the New Testament. We've got Katamattheon, Katamarkan, all the way down, all the way to Apocalypsis, Ioannes, or Revelation, as we say it. Now, I mentioned before, this is using the critical text, so it will not be using the Textus Receptus, but I don't believe that that'll be that big of a deal, to be honest. So, anyway, right here, right off the bat, we have right here, Katamattheon 1. That means we're in Matthew chapter 1. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this up next to it using my Nestle Allen. Matthew. Okay, so right here, using the parsing guide, again, it's only going to give the parsing only for the verbs. Okay, the reason for that, if you're not familiar with Greek, is that the case endings are much simpler to learn than the verbs. The verb is really what they call the backbone. It's the powerhouse of the Greek language, and it is fairly complicated, depending on what tense or voice the verb is in. It can changes completely the meaning of the word. That's why just simply knowing the gloss doesn't help you in the end, because you could you could have an interlinear translation, but if you don't know what for the most part, the power of the verb, that's the whole point of learning the Greek language, is learning the punch. Otherwise, in the end, you're really just reading a mediocre translation if all you know is the glosses. But like I said, understanding verbs is key, and this is a great tool for this. So, didn't mean to get sidetracked here, but right off the bat here, we see verse 2, we have this word here, agenesen, and what that 3P stands for is third person, singular, aorist, active indicative, and the root of this word is geneso, or geneseo. So right here we see here, this is the word that we're speaking of, agenesen. So over here, agenesen, third person singular, like I said, aorist, active indicative. And then so on and so forth. And you can continue on to help these. And like I said, this is extremely helpful when you're just starting out and you're trying to learn these verb endings. And it goes through all of them. The type here isn't anything fancy. It looks like it was most likely was typed up on a typewriter of some kind. Nothing impressive here. Nothing to blow your mind in the sense of presentation. It knows what it is and it simply does it. There's nothing crazy about it here. I think that's the whole point. But yeah, it goes all the way through to the end till Revelation. Now in the back of the book, so yeah, here's the last page of Revelation, Apocalypsis Ioane. And then back here what he does is he gives a summary. Let me move this out of the way. I have one hand here. Close that. Okay. What he does in the back here, he gives a summary of morphology. The morphology is just a term for talking about how words are inflected. Now, when we say inflected in the Greek language, we're not talking about inflection as I would think of it at first in the English language, as in your pitch goes up and down. So we're talking about inflection. It's not like as if my voice is going up and down. When we talk about inflection in the Greek, it means how words change. So when we talk about a language that's highly inflected, it means that it's primarily the main meaning is derived from the word endings, or you could call them the suffixes, or even little words or letters that go before words called prefixes. Those determine the meaning of sentences. So that's called inflection. And morphology is, in other words, the study of how those words change. So here he actually gives nouns. So even though he doesn't give nouns in this book, I believe, it's still, he gives the declension endings. So you got down here the feminine and masculine nouns. I believe this is for the first declension. And then, go down, and here we have, second declension endings right here. And, asu, o, on, and a, oi, on, ois, us, oi. And then he gives here an example of those words, which we have logos, apostolos, cosmos, and nomos. And he goes on to give these third declension endings. We have all neuter nouns have consonant stems, third neuter, fourth neuter, and it goes on. So what he does here is what he's giving you is a refresher course. So if you're trying to, even if you're having a hard time with these, you can come back to the back of the book and review it. Review these endings, and these are extremely helpful. In reality, this is a tool that's supposed to help you when you're stuck in a jam. I don't think it should be used as a primary tool for you to understand the Greek language, because it'll always, in the end, I think it'll be a crutch. And I'm not going to lie to you, I do not have all of these endings memorized, and hence why I have this tool. But this is supposed to be, I would recommend this as a stepping stone to take you to the next step. I know there's a great YouTube channel called Biblical Mastery Academy. It's run by a gentleman named Daryl Burling, and he is phenomenal. I haven't taken his course, so I can't speak to that. I'm sure it's excellent. I know it, he definitely knows his stuff. But I know he's big on talking about not being independent or not being dependent upon the tools. Rather, use the tools to go to the next step. But anyway, with that being said, you have here a parsing guide to the Greek New Testament. Again, I'm not sure if this is still in print. However, they're readily available on eBay, Amazon, not Amazon, but Thrift Books and Abe Books. So I highly recommend you pick yourself up a copy. We do have online tools that really do make this obsolete, Blue Letter Bible, but what if you don't have those? What if you, for some reason, are put in a pickle where you don't have internet access or something? It's always good to have a good backup. So anyway, look forward to hearing your comments. If you have anything, if I got anything wrong, please let me know. Again, I do not want to spread error. So please correct me lovingly. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.